That's today. That's today.
Welcome, everyone. Take a look at these people's weight loss transformation photos. What if I told you they claim to have reshaped their bodies by doing one thing? Skipping breakfast. Celebrities such as Beyonce and Hugh Jackman are all reportedly jumping on the intermittent fasting craze. But is this type of diet healthy or downright dangerous? Meanwhile, many other famous celebs like Justin Timberlake and Jessica Alba have found fitness and a sleek physique, claiming breakfast as their most important meal of the day. Who's confused? You know what I think we should do?
We all are.
Let's have a big breakfast debate.
Yeah.
And joining us today in support of fasting and skipping breakfast is cardiologist Dr. Joel Kahn and certified nutritional consultant Lori Shemek. And on the other side of the aisle is their opposition, cardiologist Dr. Nieca Goldberg and nutritionist Robert Ferguson. Thank you all so much for being here.
Thank you.
Dr. Goldberg, I'm going to start with you because you say skipping breakfast is bad for your heart.
In fact, a recent study that was done on 4,000 men and women showed that they had early buildup of plaque in their carotid arteries. That's cholesterol buildup in their arteries in their neck. That we know is a building block for stroke. But there have been several other research studies that show that breakfast skippers weigh more, move their calories late in the day, and have impulsive snacking behavior. In fact, over the last 40 years, 20 to 30% of Americans skip breakfast. And that has paralleled the rise in getting most of their food as snacks that are loaded with sugar and the rise in obesity in our country.
And Dr. Goldberg, you're a cardiologist. Dr. Kahn, you're a cardiologist as well. And you say, wait a minute.
Absolutely.
Here.
You know, this Spanish study, there's 4,000 people. The least healthy people skip breakfast. They didn't have a plan. They're up late at night. They're drinking heavy. They're drinking pop. They're smoking. That was the data. And they developed some plaque. In fact, their hearts were protected by skipping breakfast. Very controversial study. But the fact is, in this country, 20% of children are obese, 40% of adults are obese. It takes a massive plan of attack to deal with that. Fasting is one of the answers. Intermittent heart study, you fast, you drop your risk of heart disease 35%, type 2 diabetes 50%. Number two, teenage girls that skip breakfast lose 3 pounds a month. We need to get American teens thinner. And number three, in the City of Angels, Dr. Walter Longo, our hero on longevity, has shown 5 days a month. Drop my weight 25 pounds in 5 months, drop my patients up to 40 pounds in 5 to 6 months. Every biomarker goes down, and he's the world's leading expert in longevity. 5 days fasting mimicking diet is one of the tools we need to solve this problem in America, and it's a huge problem.
And it depends upon the quality of the food, too. It's very important. If you have a nutrient-dense diet, you will absolutely promote fat loss. You're going to protect yourself against type 2 diabetes, and the list goes on. It's a very long list.
So, in the words of Mike Tyson, that side is ludicrous. Because here's the deal.
That's a scientific study right there. I'm not biting his ear, but I'm thinking about it.
Well, here's the deal. So we have one of the only proven, clinically, proven data in place where we have shown that people eat breakfast will lose weight, they will boost their metabolism, and they're doing the opposite of the sumo wrestler. If you want to gain weight and be a sumo wrestler, the first thing they teach a sumo wrestler is don't eat breakfast. I believe that what you guys are saying is taking advantage of the uninformed, and again, we're seeing people being influenced who have no idea of how to be successful with their weight and their overall health, but they're listening to what is being thrown out there, and you're taking snapshots of certain studies.
So Hugh Jackman is not fasting in the morning and eating KFC buckets and smoking cigarettes at night. He's smart enough to know it's part of a health plan.
And let me add one thing, which I think, just to clarify for everyone watching out there, healthy eating centers around eating healthy foods, right? We all agree that there's no disagreement there, right?
Right.
Once again, here we are at the doctors, reputable individuals, completely disagreeing, completely using opposite studies. I'm curious your all's thoughts with what we've heard so far.
To be clear, I need to ask Dr. Kahn a question. When you talk about the way you're thinking, you're talking about periodic fasting.
Yes.
So breakfast is only part of that equation. In other words, that yes, fasting at times, you're more likely to lose weight. It includes skipping breakfast.
Well, in fact, the hottest science right now is 5 days a month on a periodic fast, 25 days a month healthy eating, 3 meals a day, 2 meals a day, your choice. The science is strong. That's an anti-aging, glowing skin, rejuvenative program.
So Dr. Khan, I just have a question, though, about that, because 5 days of fasting intermittently is actually fairly hard to sustain. And I have 2 kids, and I'm actually projecting this, and I'm thinking about it, like, what kind of an example is that setting for my children if they don't see me eating, and I'm trying to tell them, eat breakfast, go do your exams, do well during the course of the day? I'm just curious about how you project that out.
If you were in my clinic and you showed me a high C-reactive protein, cholesterol, blood pressure, I'd put you on it. But most of my patients, it's the obese, it's the overweight, they've struggled with every other plan. 5 days a month works for them because it has to be 5 consecutive days. Primal responses that activate pathways, insulin signaling pathways, protein signaling pathways, shut down. You actually get younger physiologically.
But it sounds like you're not actually advocating this for people who aren't obese. Like, you're really using this in certain situations where people
I think it's
really need extreme measures.
Would you guys rather lose weight eating or not eating?
Okay, so,
Game over.
So Dr. Bratcher did mention that we were talking about this backstage, and Dr. Bratcher and I are actually on 2 sides of the aisle. So Dr. Bratcher loves her breakfast. She needs her breakfast to see her patients in the morning and get her kids ready for school. I have coffee in the morning, and I really don't have my first meal
Does
until
espresso count as breakfast? I hope so.
Now, coffee's good.
Actually, a lot to have this
I just have black coffee. Yeah, and you know what? It makes the rest of my meals a lot more enjoyable because then I can have a nice lunch, I can have a proper dinner. But I do think that there's still a concern for individuals who see this as a diet plan. I don't see it as a diet plan. For me, it's a lifestyle. It makes me feel good. It makes me energetic in the morning. I do think that there's some individuals this is contraindicated for. For people who might have OCD tendencies or a past history of eating disorder, this is going to make them much more fixated on
brittle diabetics should stay away, be very careful.
And also people with low blood pressure because they can become dizzy and lightheaded. But we should really separate eating breakfast as part of a healthy eating plan versus what we're going to do to lose weight. So breakfast eaters actually weigh about 7 pounds less than people who skip breakfast.
Think about this. There's 100 million people right now in America that are either diabetic or pre-diabetic. You have about 30 million people that are diabetic. You have 80 million people who are walking around that are pre-diabetic. They have no idea that they could experience hypoglycemia, low blood sugar. They watch this show and now they begin intermittent fasting tomorrow. They're taking their kids to school. Blood sugar drops because they heard about intermittent fasting. And we are in a struggle with our weight right now. We're in a struggle. People are looking for everything. So they'll do what you're saying, because they experience weight loss as a result of suffering and restriction and deprivation. Why not educate people? Why not teach them how to make the most of the food you have access to, right?
Well,
and if you can eat regular food, that's what it's all about.
I do think that we're presenting a balanced picture. We're letting people understand the facts, the studies that are associated with each side and each position, and people do have to make their own decisions with the help of their medical professionals. They should absolutely consult a medical professional if they're thinking about making a big change to the way that they eat.
And individuals respond very differently to different diets. We all know this. I eat a healthy breakfast every morning. I would hope that the 2 of you wouldn't look at me and say, Dr. Stork, no, you've got to start skipping breakfast. You would even acknowledge that for me, this works well for me. And for some people, intermittent fasting, if done the right way, it could work for you. And I would never tell people that if they did it in the right way, under the right supervision, for the right reasons, safely, and they approach it from a perspective of understanding. And maybe where we can come into agreement is we eat too many calories in this country.
Yes.
We can all agree on that. We eat too many empty, vacuous calories. It's more about what you eat than when you eat and how much of it you eat. I do love breakfast. I eat it every day. I'm going to continue to do it.
Yeah, we actually
You have to figure out. My dad never ate breakfast growing up, ever. He just had his cup of coffee. I'm different. We're all different individuals. Just make sure what you're doing when it comes to your health is safe. Discuss it with your doctor. I applaud all of you for coming here today and talking about this important debate, but we'll have more resources on our website as well. We'll be right back.